Hello guys, welcome to a new video. In this video I will rank all the main villains of the Uncharted games. I'm not going to speak about the villains of Uncharted The Golden Abyss because I found them a bit boring. This doesn't mean that they are terrible, but since I only watched the cutscenes and never played the game, I thought I might not be fair to them, so it's better if they stay away from this rank. Now I will share with you the villains that I like the least to the ones I like the most. So let's start. Roman is the most boring villain. He is calm, a calculist man that only gets his hands dirty when necessary. He is a crime lord and a treasure hunter. Roman hired Navarro to help him find the El Dorado and to do the dirty work that he doesn't want to do. To be honest, he doesn't appear much and doesn't have any memorable moments. I think his story is kinda pointless. If we replace him with Navarro, it wouldn't change the story much. I thought he was smart, but he proved to be pretty stupid by opening the sarcophagus. I'm probably butchering the word. Basically, smart villains order their mercenaries or followers to open this kind of thing. Navarro is also not very interesting. Most of the time he just follows orders from Roman. We can still see that he is evil, and by the end of the game we know that he is actually smart, unlike Roman. He endured working for Roman and received certain offensive commentaries to reach his goal. Navarro can be patient when he wants. He also knew that the treasure was cursed and used it to get rid of Roman, which means he does his homework. When he and Roman capture Elena, he smiles in a way that says, "I win." I think this was a part where I liked the character because we saw a different emotion for once. Assa used to be a doctor, but then he decided to be the leader of a rebel group that wanted to take the government down because he believed it to be corrupt. He is intelligent, calm, soft-spoken, strong, and a bit egocentric. Not a bit, actually very egocentric. He would look for artifacts to later sell them and get money to fund his activities against the government. He thinks he's doing all those horrible things for his people, and he doesn't feel bad for the people that died during the conflicts because he is religious and believes that people later would be reborn in a new life. Assa saw himself as the guy who would lead the people that he considered kinda like just peasants. His story and motives are interesting, but I found him quite boring in terms of personality. Catherine is completely different from the other villains. Instead of having an intimidating, strong and brutal enemy, this time we got a villain that prefers to manipulate people through their minds, to make them insecure in order to create doubts. And she is smart and sophisticated and doesn't like to get her hands dirty, just like Roman. It seems that she only orders her agents to kill her enemies when she feels like she has no choice. We don't see her doing any type of physical evil, if you know what I mean. I guess she doesn't feel the need to kill people to intimidate others, with the exception of the scene where they try to kill Cutter with fire. But there I think his revenge for his betrayal and how badly he ruined their plans. Or maybe not, you know, she and Tablet are random, it could depend on the mood. Her backstory about being the leader of an old and secret order is also quite interesting, and I wish they explored that a little bit more. She is definitely an uncommon villain and a breath of fresh air. Talbot. I hope I'm saying his name right, so if not, I'm sorry. For the most part, Taot is calm, sophisticated, like Catherine. He is her right hand, and we can see that he cares about her. This is the first and probably the only time we see a villain that cares about another villain or another person. Try to remember one that cares about another person. I don't remember now. Moving on, I would love to know why he cares so much about her. He uses darts to make his targets see hallucinations and make them desperate. He is also able to disappear and didn't die when he got shot. Maybe he had a protective vest. We don't know much about his past, so it's kinda mysterious. There are several parts where he could have rid of other characters, but it feels like he likes to play with his enemies. Talbot is also very similar to Nate in terms of physical abilities, so when they fight they are basically at the same level. I think his personality is okay, and his strong point is really his abilities of hallucination. What really bothered me was the fact that he didn't say a single word during the final fight. When I think of a typical villain, Lazarovich comes to mind. The only sentiment he shows is rage. He is intimidating, strong, intelligent, and ruthless. He doesn't care about anyone but himself. And like all the classic villains, his goal is to get even more powerful. Usually is that or getting rich. I think he's good as a villain. At least they made him smart and not just a strong guy with muscles and a bad temper. Lazarovich is also not that interesting because he's kind of more of the same, you know? He's a great villain, and it's not high on this top because, yeah, we see this type of character a lot. It's basically that what I want to say. You got the picture. Nadin is strong, logical, calm when needed. She owns her late father's paramilitary organization. The fact that she doesn't work for clients but instead makes partnerships shows that she's not used to receiving orders from others and likes to make her own decisions and have some control. Nadin is also the only villain that knows when to stop, and because of that was the only one that survived for a change. They always die. She understands things fast, and thanks to that she escapes dangerous situations and avoids unnecessary risks. When she is mad about something, she keeps cool-headed and manages to get what is best for her in that situation. We can see that in the end of the game, when she managed to get her revenge from Drake and his brother for killing her man, but also from Rafe that put her life at risk when she was Sam's hostage, and he also forced her to go there and made her lost her man, you know. So yeah, I like the fact that it was something different, and that's why I think she deserves this place. Okay, this one is hard to explain. Eddie is my favorite villain from the first game. I like him because he's not the typical villain that is strong and that everyone fears, that needs to kill someone just to seem like a horrible person, basically like Lazarovich from Uncharted 2. Eddie is like a more normal guy when we think about villains. We see him frustrated, scared, making threats and being sarcastic, and I really like to see all those different I'm gonna say again, emotions. You know, I think it makes the character not so one-dimensional. I thought his interactions with Drake were also fun. He was a leader of a pirate gang and he did seem to care about them. I felt a bit sad when Drake tries to save him and he dies, I would love to see more scenes with him. I think the villains of that game don't have much scenes, unfortunately. So it's kind of hard to know them better. I like how in the beginning we think that Harry and Nate are friends, but we realize fast that is not the case. He seems to be that villain that only is evil when he needs to. I got the feeling that in the beginning that he was trying to avoid killing Nate, but by the middle of the game he was already sick of Nate trying to ruin their plans and started to want him dead. I also think that maybe he already knew that Chloe had helped Nate, and maybe even the fact that they had the relationship in his back. And yeah, Harry also didn't dare to trick Lazarovich and was afraid of him, which is completely understandable. Lazarovich is very intimidating. I think what made me like Harry was the fact that he was sarcastic, which made him funny, but he was also an annoying, selfish hassle, and he at times didn't seem to be very smart. He also tends to underestimate others. Harry was the first villain that we had the opportunity to know better. There are more cutscenes with him, and during the beginning of the game we have him with us the whole time during the gameplay. I also don't know why, but I pity his death. Too bad that he had to be an hassle in his final moments. Yeah, but I guess I felt bad because he was being tricked by Chloe and Nate, and then he was kind of in a very complicated position where he couldn't betray Lazarovich, but in the end he still was a horrible person. I don't know, but his ending was, it felt kind of sad. I don't know how to explain it, but Rafe is also different in his special way, and that is his motivation. Why was a guy that was already rich looking for treasure? The answer is frustration and pride. He was frustrated with the fact that he never had to work hard for anything in his life. Because of that, Rafe wanted to do something to feel proud of himself, and for that he chose to be the guy that found the Avery's treasure. I guess he wanted to be recognized and admired by others, and not just seen as a spoiled brat. When he worked with Nate some years ago, Drake was nobody, but over time Drake got famous for finding the El Dorado, Shambhala, and the Atlantis of Sands, and Rafe basically was jealous of Drake for that. He also wanted to achieve something for himself. Rafe was clever and was good at deceiving people, so he could get what he wanted. The fact that he searched for the treasure for many years shows that he has patience. But funny enough, he is also short-tempered and has no problem in using people or eliminating the ones that were in the way, if needed. I believe the scary part of him is the fact that he is hard to predict sometimes. You never know if he's going to be reasonable or decide to manipulate someone or just kill. Also, in terms of strength and other physical abilities, he matches some and surpasses others when compared to Drake and Sam. Apparently he isn't as a good researcher as the brothers. To finish about Rafe, I just wanted to say that the fact that he has a history with Drake, and we see it in the cutscenes, made him more interesting. You know, a lot of times some games say that something happened, but they don't show you through cutscenes that happening. And I feel like that there is a big difference in that. Looking now to my list, I realized that I like characters that already had some connection with Nate, that have sarcastic or funny personalities. Creating villains isn't an easy task, but I think overall Naughty Dog did an awesome job. They are good with storytelling. I just think that Uncharted Drake's Fortune has too many villains, and because of that, those characters lost their potential to be better. I've put Eddie on third, but at the same time, I think most characters before him contribute more to the story of the games in which they appear. I really have to admit that. It's complicated to explain why Eddie is in third place. If someone understands me, tell me in the comments. Now is your time to share how you would rank the enemies. Let me know in the comments. I would love to know. And like always, don't forget to leave a like to help the video reach more people, and subscribe for more videos. I mostly do Tomb Raider videos, but I try to do other games too sometimes. I'm trying and I will do it. Until next time, bye bye!